Do you feel like your teens make too many demands? And do you feel like they don't express enough appreciation? If so, this video is for you. We'll cover a few topics today. What causes entitlement, how to spot it in your teen, and what you can do about it starting today. So what causes teens to become entitled? Here are the most common causes. Cause number 1. Indulgent parenting. Research suggests that privileged teens are more likely to be entitled. This is because of how other people, including their parents, treat them. If you drop everything to bring the homework they forgot to school, or if you stay up late to help them finish a project they didn't start working on till the last minute, they may start expecting their teachers and friends to treat them the same way. Cause number 2. Inconsistent or non-existent boundaries. Saying yes to all your teenagers' demands and failing to address bad behavior can lead to entitlement. If teens make irresponsible choices without having to face the consequences, they're more likely to continue behaving this way. Cause number 3. Lack of good role models outside the family. Maybe your teens are surrounded by people who look down on others or who are disrespectful. Maybe their favorite social media celebrities are always mocking others or showing off. They might also be spending time with people who always complain, never say thank you, and never take responsibility for their actions. If so, you may start to see your teenagers behaving the same way. I'm Daniel Wong. I'm a teen coach and I specialize in helping teens to thrive. Now let's talk about the next cause of entitled behavior in teens. Cause number 4. Lack of opportunities to focus on others. How often are your teens in situations where they're forced to think beyond themselves? Do they engage in volunteer work? Do they do things to contribute to the family? If your teens have never had to put other people's needs above their own, it's easy for them to start believing that the world revolves around them. Cause number 5. Social media or peer influence. Teenagers are easily influenced by what they see around them. They see online influencers or their friends wearing $500 shoes and carrying designer bags, and they start to believe that's what they should have too. It's normal for your teens to have their own desires. What sets unhealthy entitlement apart are traits like ingratitude, disrespect, and irresponsibility. Let's take a closer look at the 7 most common signs of an entitled teenager. Take note of how many of these signs your teen displays. If your teen displays between 0 and 3 of the signs, it's normal teenage behavior. But if your teen displays 4 or more of the signs, it's a cause for serious concern. Here's the first sign. Making many unwarranted demands. Do you often get bombarded with demands for things your teens don't actually need? Maybe they ask for a new phone when their current phone works fine. Or maybe they ask for another pair of shoes just because they saw someone at school wearing shoes that look nice. Entitled teens don't consider how much effort, time, or money would go into fulfilling their demands. What's more, they don't practice financial responsibility. They don't budget or save, and they make costly purchases on a whim. They often compare themselves to those around them. They may resort to buying new and expensive items to fit in or to feel superior to others. Sign number 2. Reacting negatively when people say no to them. Entitled teenagers aren't used to handling disappointment when things don't go their way. They might ignore you or talk back to you when you say no. You might be tempted to give in to relieve the tension, but there are times when you need to be firm. Sign number 3. Rarely expressing gratitude. Entitled teens often struggle to say a simple thank you. If someone buys them food or holds the door open for them, they might not express gratitude. Entitled teens tend to complain a lot. For example, they might refuse to eat dinner unless the food is something they really enjoy eating. As a parent, you can try to point out the kind acts other people perform. You can also try to foster a family culture of giving. This could mean serving others together as a family, delivering meals, or writing thank you notes. If you're finding this video helpful so far, please click the like button. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future videos about helping teens to thrive. Sign number 4. Expecting to get special treatment. Entitled teens might expect special treatment from others, whether it's in school, at home, or in various social situations. They might try to be the center of attention, even on occasions like someone else's birthday party. If they make a mess of something at home, they may also assume that someone else will clean up the mess. While it's important to give your teenagers attention and unconditional love, it's also important to show them that they aren't at the center of the universe. Encourage your teens to consider the feelings of others. For example, you could take them shopping for a friend's birthday or get them to help their relatives make wedding preparations. Sign number 5. Disregarding rules and boundaries. Entitled teenagers frequently ignore rules at home, at school, and in public. When parents establish curfews, assign chores, or ask them to complete their homework, they may react strongly and kick up a huge fuss. Entitled teens often think they know better than their parents or teachers, so they refuse to follow instructions or rules. They may also try to test other people's boundaries, such as repeatedly calling a classmate by a nickname that's hurtful. Teaching your teens to respect rules and boundaries starts at home. Together with your teens, create a list of rules and consequences for breaking those rules and consistently enforce them. Sign number 6. Being unwilling to take responsibility. Entitled teens are often unwilling to fulfill their roles and responsibilities at home or school. They expect you to bring them things and keep track of their schedule for them. They might even expect you to remind them about deadlines, as if it's your job to manage their life. They may refuse to do their homework or study for exams if they don't feel like it. And when they make a mistake, they don't take responsibility for it. Instead, they try to shift the blame to someone else. For example, if they fail a test, it's because the teacher didn't explain the concept clearly. If they forget to do something, it's because no one reminded me. Sign number 7. Finding it hard to deal with failure. Entitled teenagers are used to having things go their way. Because of this, they don't know how to handle disappointments and failures in life. They lack perseverance and frequently rely on others to solve their problems. This might show up in different ways. For example, they might give up easily when doing their homework, and they might try to find shortcuts to get the homework done. Instead of emailing their teacher about something themselves, they wait for you to step in. If your teens are like this, lend them a listening ear. Help them to see failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. Of the 7 signs of entitled teens we've just discussed, how many does your teenager display? Like I mentioned earlier, if it's between 0 and 3, it's normal teenage behavior. But if it's 4 or more, there's a pattern. And it's time to do something about it before it becomes permanent. If you'd like me to personally work with your teen to help him or her get on the right track, check out the link in the description about the one-on-one coaching program I offer. I'd be happy to help your teen. Dealing with entitled teens can be very tricky. Here are some suggestions for how you can help them improve their attitude and behavior. Have conversations, not confrontations. If you confront your teens and criticize or lecture them frequently about their entitled behavior, they'll tune you out. Having calm conversations with them is always the more effective approach. Set and enforce rules and consequences for breaking those rules. Just make sure you do this calmly and not in a mean-spirited way. Involve your teens in the discussion and try to set the rules and consequences together. Avoid picking up after your teens all the time or covering for their mistakes. As far as possible, let them experience the natural consequences of their choices. Talk to your teens about the difference between needs and wants. Lead by example in this area too. Minimize the number of things you buy for yourself that you don't actually need. Create a chore chart for the family and assign chores to your teens. Sit down together as a family and agree on who's doing what, so no one's confused and everyone's accountable. Don't compare your teens or yourself to other people. Focus on values and character development instead of focusing too much on trying to be better than other people. Now, if your teen is entitled, you don't have to try and fix everything overnight. Identify the root issue and pick 1 or 2 things you can start implementing in the coming week. And maybe entitled behavior isn't the only challenge you're facing with your teen. If your teen also lacks motivation, I have a resource for you. It's this free ebook I've written entitled 16 Keys to Motivating Your Teenager. Visit danielwong.com/ebook to download the ebook today. The download link is also in the description. And here's this other video I've created about how to teach responsibility to an irresponsible teenager. In the video, I explain the 4 tips every parent should use if they want to raise a responsible teenager who makes good decisions. You'll find this video useful, so watch it next.